Hello everyone, welcome to our episode showcase on Warframe. Today's item, well, maybe a couple of them, it's the Vasto set. Well, Vasto, the Wild West slinger. 6 shots, not to kill anything that moves. So, the Vasto fits in a rather strange place in Warframe. You got plenty of firepower, but 6 shots, and other issues with it. But a fast reload. Stats are pretty much 16 accuracy, which is plenty, 15% critical chance, 1.5 critical times multiplier, fire rate of 5.0, which is pretty much as fast as you can pull the trigger. Noise is alarming, of course, reloads a quick 1 second, status is immediately 5%. Alright, triggers semi-automatic, as expected, and the damage is 15.5 puncture and impact, and then 25.0 slash. So, decent amount of stats for a rather low entry pistol, which is pretty good. Now, where you get the Vasto is you go to the marketplace, go to secondaries, and you'll find the blueprint there, which only takes 30,000 credits, 4 neuros, 1200 for alloy plate, 700 ferrite, and 1000 polymer bundle. Now, early players might have trouble getting those neuros initially on, so it's a bit of a stretch for new players to buy that. Still though, could be worth their time. Maybe worth their time. But anyway, moving on from the build stats, let's take a look at it visually. Now, the Vasto is a rather strange weapon. It's a really good combination of past and present. Now you got these cylinders here, which line up quite well inside the barrel. As you see, that's actually lined up correctly. Not just a black spot. And also it's got a, like all old Star Wars, I think this is a ball priming pin, or ones you know that again, just how you X-ball put in and out of the cylinders. I think I'm right on that, but anyway, as you notice the style, it's actually of an old ball and cap Magnum revolver, where even it's like banded down with iron. So it's very reminiscent of past design with the future tech. And when it is fired, you can see it actually has animations. The cylinder does in fact rotate. Very neat. However, one problem with the weapon, it's recoil. You can see that there's this heavy recoil in that sucker. That barrel will climb nice and high, and here it is at the fastest possible fire rate. Not very quick, is it? But enough of that. Let's talk about the upgrade, the Vasto Prime. Now, after making this video, the Vasto Prime is discontinued and it's vaulted. Oh well. As you can see, the test sites are very much different, but getting a Vasto Prime, you only need 3 parts. The blueprint, the barrel, and the receiver. So you only need 3 parts, so it's not the terribly worst thing to get. And they're not that uncommon that you can't get one for a reasonable price. But still, it's been vaulted for quite some time now. Now stats-wise, here we can see that the Vasto Prime has a lot of things on the regular Vasto. Critical chance is increased by 5%, critical multiplier by 0.5, fire rate for some reason is a little bit better. Status, however, is now usable at 20%. But the damage is a bit funny, you lose a little bit of puncture and impact, about 2.0, but the slash almost doubles to about 49.0. So yes. So this weapon can actually go either way. You can either have the elemental build, or, well, critical build, or a little bit of both. You can easily achieve that with this weapon. So it's your choice where you want to go with that. Moving on from that, well, visually, well, the Vasto had a little plastic reminiscence that's completely thrown out the window with the Vasto Prime. The Vasto Prime is just swag. Lots of swag on that gun. No hint of the past of it at all. Funny how the Orcans kind of treat it as a past kind of civilization. But no matter. You can see the barrel is no longer properly lined up, it's just a black spot in the back. Oh well. You get this really large flare ring where the cylinder is, and everything else is just extra swag. When fired, the cylinder still does rotate. So it's simply something that's carried over from the regular Vasto. However, it is still the same problem is prevalent from the plain Vasto as well in regards to recoil. It's still there. It's still a problem, so the fire rate isn't that great still. But oh well, moving on. Alright, here it is, my ultimate build with Vasto Prime. Now, for my stats, you can see I didn't touch accuracy at all. The critical chance now 57.4, which is alright. Critical multiplier is 4.2. Fire rate is higher, which is irrelevant. Still have a 6-shot magazine. My reload though is only 0.6, and you'll see how I got that in a second. My status is 60%, and trigger semi-automatic. For damage, I got 138.2 for both puncture impact and then about 1400 slash. Now I didn't put any elements on for one good reason, as you'll probably see for me as how it works. How I achieve this is for raw damage, I got Horn Strike and Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Torrent. Lethal Torrent also increases the critical fire rate. Main for the slash damage. I got Prime Target Cracker and Primed Pistol Gambit for the critical build. And also Hydraulic Crosshairs, which gives 135% more critical chance on a headshot, which is where you want to be aiming with this gun. Now, so that included, now let's talk about my ribbon for the Vasto. Single Vasto anyway. As you can see, I got plus 51% damage to Corpus, which would be really handy on a slash-based weapon. Plus 72% reloading speed, which is how I got that reloading speed down that far. And plus 131% multi-shot. When I rolled it the 5th time, I was like, hey, this is not too bad stats. It's actually pretty good. So with a quick reload like that, the reload's over before you even know it. And the extra damage to Corpus is actually a very nice thing. This weapon does not excel at killing the Corpus. Let's go into a test though. Grab a few Grenadier here. About 10 of them. Now I'm going to turn myself invisible, and the level for them is going to set a little high. I'm thinking 85, yeah. Alright. Now, against the Grenadier, it's not the most effective weapon, but in 2 shots you can kill them easily. As you see, it's mainly just a matter of hitting their head, because if you hit it anywhere else, you're not really doing that much damage. So it's one shot, the head is often enough to kill them, as you're seeing. That's almost put into that critical range, and then the slash proc will do the rest. Now, after making this video, we still have damage 2.0, so I'm not sure if this will still be the same in the future. But for those who don't know, slash, as it is now, causes a rapid bleed out, which can be easily layered on top of each other. Now, with the 60% chance as a status, that's how what your chance for your pretty much your bleed is. Mind you, I have multi-shot as well, so that's even better. Alright. So I did pretty good against the Grenadier. Now it's just against the Corpus, and when I rip them out, I should do extra 50% more damage than I would have normally. Okay, I'll grab 20 of them. Level, same level. Alright. Now, even though I'm doing 50% more damage, unless I hit their weak spot, I'm actually not doing a whole lot. If I hit my weak spot being the backpack or their face of a MOA. But yeah, otherwise it's 2 shots. Normally. See, that's the idea. I gotta do extra 50% damage, so that's how unoptimized this weapon is for fighting Corpus. Now, you can do slash procs on them, but it doesn't really work so well going through shields, to my understanding. But oh well. Still effective enough with my ribbon, although without the ribbon, the results would be very, very different. I wouldn't be using this weapon otherwise or recommending it. Alright, going against the Chargers, we'll take 20 of them, and we're gonna put them at a higher level. So this is a slash weapon, and the Infestation don't have exactly any armor to speak of or any shields. We'll put them to level 110. Alright. Now, you think it'd do a bit better against 110, you know, with a heavy slash critical based weapon with slash procs. But, it's okay. The thing that's really going for me is the quick reload, actually, and the quick rapid fire. Try and hit the head of a charger. Easier said than done. Some people are really good out there. I'm not that great hitting headshots on the infestation. Just look at this. Trying to hit their heads. You only got a split second before they charge at you again, and the placement changes instantly. Otherwise, it did okay. Just okay. Maybe a level too high, but I wouldn't go any higher than that. Now, how does it do against a level 150 Corrupted Heavy Gunner? Well, I can't kill him with raw damage, but let's show you how, for those who don't know, let's just show how that proc works now. As you layer on the damage and just keep on it, eventually you'll see the enemy starts to quickly bleed out. So that took about 18 seconds, so it's not a good weapon to use it for, but that's the idea. Alright, let's move on to the other weapon, the AK Vasto. Now I was gonna make this video earlier, but I wasn't too sure what the next Prime Access would be, but now I know it's the Mirage with the AK Volto for some ungodly reason, and not an AK Vasto or AK Lex, whatever. But yes, the idea of the AK Vasto is simply more shots. Not more damage, more shots. As you can see here, that the damage is the same. What is different is the fire rate, because you know, you've got two shots now to fire pretty much back to back. And the reload's slightly worse. It's now at 1.8 instead of 1. Every other stats generally stay the same. The only thing the big change is the fire rate and the reload on the AK Vasto to the regular Vasto. So yes, and that means the weapon has to handle definitely slightly. But yes, there's no prime variant as of the making of this video. If there is, I'll update the video. But either way, I think I'd rather stick with a single Vasto for a couple of reasons. Alright, now when you get the AK Vasto, you go to the marketplace, you find it in the blueprint section. And it's a bit asinine, because when you go to make a blueprint, you need 2 Vastos. Go figure, and 2 Organ Cells. I'm not sure what the Organ Cells are needed for, because you know, once you have 2 Vastos, it's kind of like done, but whatever. Now, the funny thing about the AK Vasto, it has less recoil than a single Vasto. Yeah, that's a bit backwards, isn't it? Weird. You see I go full-on apeshit with the gun, and it's somewhat controllable. Really weird. Oh well, I'm not the designer for this game. So, here's my ultimate build for the AK Vasto. Now I'm going to be up front here. The Vasto Prime will always be stronger than the AK Vasto. The stats just aren't there for the regular Vasto, even if they have more shots. But anyway, you can see I didn't even touch the critical build, didn't even bother. Fire rate went up thanks to Lethal Torrent. Magazine size, same. Reload though has got worse with 2.6, and you'll see what happened there in a second. Though I didn't talk about the Vasto Prime's disposition, but you can see the disposition of this one's 4 out of 5. Damage, you see I got 229 puncture and impact, about almost 1300 slash, and then I put a element of viral on it for 1100. And I got that pretty much by using Frostbite and Pistol Pestilence. Everything the same except for Razor Shot adding more slash to the weapon. Since I didn't need to add any of the critical based things, that just added more raw damage. Now moving on to my ribbon, which the genius of me forgot to record it, so let's get a picture of it here. You can see that I get plus 55% damage to Corpus. Very nice. And then plus 336% damage. Also very nice. And then a negative 32.3 reloading speed. As it turns out, reload speed from 1.8 into 2.6. But since I'm getting the maximum possible damage out of this at this point, that I'm probably going to get, I'll just live with it. Though I wouldn't recommend, you know, this kind of ribbon, because it just butchers the reloading speed. Just butchers it. But first, let's go on to some Grenadier. Go take 10 of them. And since I was playing that Corrupted Heavy Gunner, I'll just dump this down to level 55. Yeah, 55. Wouldn't fight any higher than that. Maybe 70, but besides the point. Like the Vasto, or the Vasto Prime, you must strictly aim for headshots yet again. Against the Grenadier anyway. Well, kind of against everyone. Preferably, if you can against the infestation, go for it. But yes, you got double the shots and less recoil, so you can actually line out those headshots a lot more frequently and quickly. But at the cost of your damage, because these guys are level 65, opposed to the Vasto Prime's level 85, but it's not that huge of a climb, is it? Okay, putting in some MOAs now. I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of them. And level's gonna be the same. Yeah. But, since I do 65 damage, I should do a whole bunch of damage, right? Well, I still kill them in one hit in their weak spot, which is the backpack and face, if you forget. But still, if I don't hit them in that weak spot, I'm looking at 3 to 5 shots. Or 3 to 4 shots, more specifically. So, yeah. I have more shots, which is nice, but still, it takes a whole bunch. It just shows how weak this weapon is versus the Corpus. Because this is what it is, with plus 65% more damage. That's quite something. Now let's go get some chargers. Go to about, 20 of them, and I'll jump it up to level 90, 95. Alright. Now you think with more shots, you do a better job. But again, lower level. But no, because again, you must strictly aim for headshots, the kind of the name of this game, and as before, try to hit headshots at any infestations, it's a challenge. Agents, I can do. Chargers, I cannot. Not like this. Never like this. I don't think I ever really land natural headshots on chargers anyway. It's usually accidental. Can you even identify where the head is on these things? I think. It's kind of where that face polyps are. So how does it do against a level 150 corrupted heavy gunner? Well, the Vasto Prime could do it through determination. The AK Vasto, you cannot do it through determination. You can't do it at all. Alright, let's go on to the pros and cons of the AK Vasto, which we'll start with first. On the pros, there's less recoil than its single action counterpart. Well, they're all single action, just double the amount. Alright, and it is rapid fire and acceptable reload speed, starting off. Alright, and that's kind of it for the AK Vasto. The cons, there are a couple here. Making them is kind of counterproductive for most new players since you need 2 of them, and it takes like 8 inroads. There's no prime variant at the making of this video. Alright, and that's kind of it. It still lacks the critical chance, but that's kind of like related to the original Vasto. Going on to the score for the AK Vasto. Damage, I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10. It's alright for damage. Not enough I want for it to make this weapon, but besides the point. Actually, that was good. I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. Even though it doesn't mention any fall off, and I didn't really notice any difference when firing at enemies in the plains, although hitting them at greater distances is difficult. Still was pretty good. Design, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Mainly on being bonkers weird, but still works. Where you get 2 weapons, you get less recoil, besides the point. Ammo I didn't talk about, but it's fairly good at 7 out of 10. You got more enough shots to be content with, but if going full auto crazy, you'll run out before you know it. Miscellaneous, I'm gonna give a 4 to 10, mainly on the premise of who is the target audience for this is a bit odd. Because the new players don't really want it, and the experienced players don't want it either, because it's not powerful enough. So I'm not sure where it fits in here. So in total, I'm gonna give the AK Vasto 30 out of 50. It's an exceptional weapon, but just meeting that exceptional line. Better than plenty of other weapons in the game, but that's not saying a whole bunch, given how many weapons there are in the game now. Moving on to the Vasto Prime, the reason why you're probably here. Now, for pros and cons, which all things will relate to just the Vasto Prime. Which is the most powerful Vasto? It's the first pro, well, AK or otherwise. As a comparable, critical, and status build, with good chance for bleed out, such as a high fire rate. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty good for pros. On the cons, it is discontinued at the making of this video. It still has the same recoil issues as the single Vasto. Alright. Didn't spell German yet. Going on to the score for the Vasto Prime. Well, damage, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Plenty good damage. Not a huge step above the AK Vasto, but good enough. Accuracy, I'm going to give a 6 out of 10, mainly at the range of that recoil being a huge issue. But still, it's just the same accuracy, all of the AK Vasto, just, a lot more to handle. Design, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Even though with the recoil issues, it's still a well-rounded weapon. We could choose between status or critical, it's really up to you. Ammo, I'm going to give 8 out of 10. Even though the AK and the single Vasto have the same ammo pool in the Prime, you simply use less of it. So it's just 1 point better. Miscellaneous, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, because out of most secondaries, this one ranks pretty much in a good top 50-60. That's not saying much, but after plus 300 weapons, that's pretty damn good. So in total, I give the Vasto Prime 35 out of 50. It's a must-have weapon, but just meeting that criteria of must-have, in my opinion. Okay, everyone, it's time for the judgment. Now, judgment, I got 2 weapons to judge here. Now, let's be honest, the AK Vasto is not worth it. Until they do something with it, I'm not sure who the target audience is, because it's not experienced players and it's not new players. Intermediate players will probably skip over it, so it's just a question of who's it meant for. The AK Vasto, I believe it is worth it. The stylish weapon, it's a single-action Colt Magnum revolver. Wouldn't you guys say more? It behaves like it, it does damage that's acceptable. Overall, good weapon. But that's purely my opinion. Anyway, thank you for watching Showcase, and hope to see you guys next time. Take care out there.